This episode of Riding the Line is brought to you by Specialized Bicycle Components. The new Levo 4 is here and it's a weapon. More usable power, refined geometry, smoother integration, and it climbs like a machine and still rides like a true trail bike on the descent. If you're trying to stack more laps, train harder, or just ride further without being burnt out, the Levo 4 is it. Check it out at specialized.com. This episode is also powered by CTS Media. Websites, content strategy, photography, videography. If you need your brand to actually look professional online and convert, CTS Media builds it the right way. No fluff, just results. Head to ctsmedia.org and check it out. Shout out to Shred It, You're On. Their jerseys let you run a GoPro or action cam straight through the jersey so you can capture the footage and still keep your sponsors visible. That's a serious move for riders creating content. Check them out at shredityourOn.com. Big thanks to Gutter Getters, keeping homes dialed so you can stay focused on riding. If your gutters need help, check them out. If you need any home maintenance or home repairs, definitely need to hit up Gutter Getters. We appreciate all of our sponsors back in the culture. Let's get into the podcast.
All right. Well, howdy, everybody. Good morning. Happy to bring us another episode of the Riding the Line show with Ross Moncton and Kason Smith. Today, we've got really cool guests. We got some big stuff coming up. I'm not going to keep it under wraps for too long. So, Kason, talk to me. Who do we have?
Yeah, man, this one's going to be sick. A very, we'll say high involved in the industry individual. This guy, I mean, as far as racing, especially in the Southeast goes, is huge. He's, we're gonna spend a whole lot of time talking about it, but he's done something super incredible, and it's only getting better. But without further ado, man, I want to welcome in Mr. David Moore.
Squirrelly Dave.
Yo, what's up, fellas? Thanks for the intro. I love that. That's awesome, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for
So
having me.
stoked. Yeah, so for our viewers that don't know, man, you are the head of what is Go Nuts Biking. And I've personally want to like talk about like I've raced several Go Nuts Enduros in my time. I don't know, Ross, have you raced a few or
I've done a couple.
Okay.
I've done a couple.
Yeah, so as far as like, man, it was Go Nuts for me was like, all I had at the time when I was growing up racing was your local Big Creek quick sixes, at the time we had Big Creek time trial races that I was doing.
Yeah.
And then and then all of a sudden it's like I see these Go Nuts races popping around. And then at the time Austin Sansui I was racing with, kind of going back and forth between the pro and the expert. And I started traveling to the Alabama races, raced some Oak Mountain Go Nuts races, and at every single race, I saw this high energy guy on the microphone running the ship, and it was Mr. David. So definitely, like, I love what you've been doing, man, and something has happened that most people probably know about by now, but there's a big announcement that I want you to talk about, and I think we should go straight into it. You released a new schedule for 2026, and on top of that new schedule, there's a big change for this year. So if you don't mind, go into that. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, so this year, Go Nuts is going international, which is brand new to us. We're testing the waters on this. I mean, right now we're even planning for 2027 to even go bigger to different countries. But yeah, we were approached about a year and a half, 2 years ago by a team down in Orlando called Epic Productions and Destinations. They're a wonderful group. What they do is they bring different cultures from different countries to the U.S. and kind of show them what riding's all about here in the U.S. And since they're from Orlando and a lot of these gravity riders are coming over, the closest promoters they have to go to are Go Nuts Biking, Downhill Southeast, Gravity Carolina.
Yeah.
And so they try to. I'm sorry, my dog is barking in the background. I don't know what he's up to, but I'm about to go out there and drop kick Murphy, this guy. But anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, so they approached me and they were like, "We love your races. We love the energy. I mean, what would it take to try to bring some races to South America?" And at first, it was just like, "Whoa," like, I, I mean, I, I'm trying to get races back local again because one of the things that we've been hearing a lot from some of our riders is, "Hey, Dave, why don't you bring stuff more closer to where people don't have to travel as far?" And then when this was brought to the table, I was like, you know, I have wanted to ride other countries. I kind of wanted to give it a shot. So they were like, "Well, why don't you come down here and pay us a visit?" And so they did. They rolled out the red carpet, brought us down there. The riding scene down there was something I've never seen before. I mean, I felt like I went back in time. I mean, I felt like I went back to where cell phones didn't exist, computers didn't exist, and everybody was outside riding their bikes. I mean, that's the vibe I got when I went there. And so down in Ecuador where we were at, um, the split there was either they play soccer or they ride mountain bikes. And that's all they have really to do there. And it's awesome. And this wall right here.
No,
And
you're good.
so anyway, when we got down there and we saw the vibe and we saw the energy of all these riders, we were like, "Oh my gosh, if we don't bring something here, man, we're just losing. We're losing out." And so it's more of an experience for us, really. It's kind of like, it's brought to the table, let's give it a shot. Let's see what it's all about. Because they are actually coming to our country. So let's give back. And so as we were getting deeper into it, we found out we were the first U.S. promoter to mountain bike promotion to go to South America. So it became bigger, and so they became more um, opening and welcoming and excited for us to come. So we couldn't say no at this point. So we went ahead and we've been trying to figure out our schedule, and I've been trying to work with other promoters and everything, and trying to work with each other's schedules and things like that, just to make it all work. You know, and try to keep things here at home too, to where people are like, "Oh, it's international and he's got races everywhere, but I'm not going to be able to go. So is there going to be enough races here in the U.S.?" And the answer to that is yes. So I made 3 key races that are close here in the Southeast, so people can make it to the finals. Then I also made it to where I also want people to come to the States and get to experience some of the awesome trail systems that we have. And Bentonville was one of them that reached out and said, "Please bring it here." So we did. So we're going to Bentonville as one of our stops, and that's going to be a double nuts, double point stop, because we know it's pretty far for a lot of us to go to, including me. I mean, people don't understand the logistics it takes for us to have to do all this, and there's a lot of money involved and things that come along with it. But you know what? I mean, I don't look at it as races and as a job. I look at it as a party and bringing people together, and we're all just out here having a good time riding bikes together. And what better way to do it and bring all these cultures together? So yeah, we're excited about this, and like I said, we're already being asked to come to other countries in 2027, and I mean, we're talking to Australia, the UK, back to South America. Chile wants us. Puerto Rico wants us. It's and I'm too much of a yes man. I can't turn people down. And my wife's like,
Right.
pump the brakes, Dave." I mean, so anyway, but those are just some of the ones that's dropped on my desk in the last 6 months to a year. So we're pretty excited about it. So we hope everybody comes out and sees everything. And yes, I did mention that this is going to be documented. So there are going to be crews following us around to each stop, kind of getting the cultures, interviewing riders, interviewing park owners, the communities, things like that, just to not only just see what riding is in that area, but also the culture and what that community brings. It's going to be interesting. We'll see where that goes. It's going to be fun.
Well, that's killer. Question: do you have the schedule for this year as far as your dates? And I've seen it, but off the top of your head, it looks like we kick off in April.
Yep, we kick off in April at Canuga. That's going to be our opener. And we are going to have a cap at 300 riders. And it's very important that people get registered early so we can really plan, because all of our races are online registration. And if we haven't sold out, we always keep registration open day of, but we don't ever advertise that really. We just kind of like, if we have an opening, come on, we'll get you in there.
There's your riding the line inside line.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
that?
and then I think you touched on it too. So if as far as points go, it says best of 3. So that is if you can only make it to 3, right?
Yeah, you can
Is
only make it to 3.
kind
You have to
of
complete those 3. Best of 3. So if you race like the first 5 leading up to Jared's place, which would be our finale, then you're in. You'll get your worst 2 dropped. If you don't have but 2 races going into Jared's, if you complete Jared's, that will count as your 3rd race as well. Some people would just try to get 3 done and be qualified for the finals, and that's fine too. Some would just do 2 and try to get there and hope that they don't have a DNF or something during the finals. I always say at least get you good 3 before going into the finals. That way, that if you do like get a flat or something during finals, then you're still good for the series title. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just curious because I know there's going to be some people that aren't going to be able to make it internationally. So
Oh
there
yeah,
is some.
for sure. Believe
Yeah.
me, we thought that out. That's why we were like, you know what? We need to have 3 good races. That's why we have Sugar Mountain, Jared's Place, and Canoga, all 3 right here, pretty much in the southeast that everybody can make to, especially the majority of our following. We've been asked to come to Bentonville. We do have riders from there that come over to here, but that way, that's going to be a connection to hopefully get some of the Western folks kind of like connected to us as well. We're known that way. We've been asked to come put races up in Oregon. I mean, it's been crazy, and I've turned races down because we're not going to go that far.
Mhm.
I've thought about maybe trying to do something like what Big Mountain Enduro does. They have like 5 or 6 races throughout the U.S. I thought about doing something like that, but you know, my age is catching up to me. I want to be closer to home. And here I am going international.
I don't blame you.
Right.
Yeah, and so like this is a great transition. Number one, this is an insane schedule for a uh, a race organizer like yourself. I mean, you have really what we'll call it scaled go nuts biking. Like I kind of want to talk about like how you even got to this point and like how go nuts started. What made you think about starting your own race series? What was there a gap in the system that you saw that needed to be filled? Like what made you start Go Nuts and how did you scale it to going internationally? Because I mean, me personally looking on it, you are, I would say, the most organized and the most I don't know. I look at it as like the most prominent race series in the Southeast for me personally. And now you're going internationally, so it's way bigger than the Southeast. And every Go Nuts event is always been super organized to me. It feels like I'm at a freaking huge race. It feels way bigger than just a local race when I go to these races. It's very
Appreciate
legit.
that.
Yeah, and everybody's super friendly. You've always been super friendly to me, and so stoked on what you're doing. But yeah, tell us how you got to this point, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That.
I can, since we got some time, man, I'll just go all the way to the beginning. I mean, a lot of people don't know my background's BMX freestyle. I used to make fun of mountain bikers. I did vert and park from 11 years old till I was 35 years old. Tried to make it to the X Games back in the early 2000s. Didn't ever happen. I was, you know, had 3 kids before I was 25 years old. So here I am juggling job, building half pipes in the backyard with foam pits, etc., trying to go up to Woodward, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I knew that dream was a pipeline that I'm not going to be able to catch up to. So I got injured when I was 34. I looped out on vert, compressed my spine. Never broken a bone, believe it or not. And I've had probably well over a dozen concussions. Just a lot of heads slapping the flat bottom on tricks and stuff. I mean, BMXers can tell you. Talk to Brian Fox. And
Yeah.
so anyway, my wife basically she put her foot down, man. She was like, "Look, you're done." She's like, "You got 3 kids to raise. I'm not going to have, a husband, in a wheelchair the rest of his life, blah blah blah. From injuring himself in the backyard riding a half pipe." So I went through a deep depression, and because it was like literally losing a child. It was like, what am I going to do now? I mean, the only thing I ever loved was riding my bicycle. And so I went to my next sport, my next favorite sport, which was golf. Played golf religiously, and started putting on the company I was working for. I was in aviation. And so the company I worked for, I got involved with the golf league. So I got a little bit of experience doing, events. And so I ran the golf league there, and started gaining a lot of weight playing golf. And then I realized I needed to get back on a bike. So I told my wife I was going to get back on a bike. And I'd been fooling around with mountain biking, all through my early 20s and stuff, but I was doing tricks in the woods, not riding. Like I would try to go and do a foo-fa-noo or something on a tree or whatever, or 360 over a stump or something. I was tearing up mountain bikes more than I was riding them. And so my wife, she had in her head, she goes, "No, you're not getting back on a bike. You're not going to hurt yourself." I said, "No, I'm getting on a bike for health reasons. I need to lose weight." So I taught myself to keep my tires on the ground when I was on the trail, and I just started riding. And as I started seeing the weight dropping, guys, I got 267 pounds, which is the highest I've ever got. And I was always between 175, 180. So once I started riding again, I went down from 167 all the way down to like 190 pounds. And I was like an XC fit. So I started racing, and I would push myself to race mountain bikes just to keep myself, training. And then I fell in love with cycling again, fell in love with mountain biking. Um, had the ability from riding BMX, and was able to take the BMX components over toward, gravity stuff. So it just came natural to me to do downhill stuff, roots, rocks, things like that, gaps, jumps, whatever. And so it was fun again, and I was back on my bike. So the love came back. Well, then I got more involved with organizations like sober groups and things like that. So here in Columbus, that's where we're based at, Columbus, Georgia. I was part of the sober group, the CVA sober group here, and we were trying to find ways to uh, fundraise money for our trails. So I was like, the only time we really ever brought any good money in is whenever we had a promoter come in and put races on. So I said, well, why don't we get a race promoter to come in and put races on? Because we only had one race series that came through once a year, and that was Gone Riding. And they put on a great race, but it was once a year. And so they were like, well, who are we going to get? And I was like, well, call Chain Busters, because there wasn't many races back then. And so even Downhill Southeast wasn't around back then. So we called in Chain Busters. They wouldn't do it. They said it wasn't enough parking and this and that, whatnot. So we were like, all right. And I was like, why don't we just do it ourselves? So the guys were like, no, it'd only bring in locals. It wouldn't bring in people from outside. We'd need like an outside promoter to do it. So then there was a lot of joking and jabbing and everything. And people were like, well, why don't you do it, Dave? You got the personality. You got the people. I was like, I don't know how to do a race. I said, And so I was currently racing at the time. And the straw that broke that broke the camel's back was we were at a particular race, and it was horrible. It was unorganized. The music was awful. The announcer was like dry eye guy. And I was like, and then and then one of my guys, he gets podium, and they skipped his category. And we're standing there, and he was like, dude, they skipped my category. And I said, well, go tell them.
Lord.
They already took the podiums down. So he walks up there and he goes, you skipped my category. And they're like, oh, what place did you get? And he told them. They were like, oh. So they dug in a box, and they said, well, congratulations, and gave him a prize or whatever. So we were mumbling about it all the way home. And then someone goes, that's it. And I said, you know what? We're going to put a race on. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So we put a race on in Columbus, and only had like 34 people show up, which was fine. And
Pretty good, dude. That
yeah,
34 people for a first race
From Columbus,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, and then we were like, well, let's make it. We were trying to do like a little race right there within our community. So we did it at Flat Rock Park here in Columbus, and then right up the road there was Lakeside, which is at West Point, and then we went over to Chihuahua, which is over in Auburn. So it was like a trifecta right here in our little community. So So the first race was 34 people. And then we went up to West Point, and the 34 rose up to about, I think it was like 75, 76 people. So we're like, okay, we're good. Here's what the big thing was. When you're just starting out, parks aren't just going to let you come in. They don't know who you are. They don't want to close their park for somebody that's only going to bring a handful of riders in. They want to make sure that you're going to bring something to the table. Well, here I am. I don't know. Well, in Auburn, they asked, well, we've never had a race up on the top of the mountain, which is the high gravity sections, and at Chihuahua. And at the time, these were newer trails, more gravity prone trails. That people were starting to, get their feet wet on. And I was like, I'm not scared. I'll do it. Let's bring some spice to some XC. I'll do it. And so rumor got out, and the president of NICA over in Alabama sent an email to everyone, coaches, parents, everybody, recommending no one race our race because we were having it on the gravity side. And that just sparked excitement. Dude, we had over 150 something riders that came just because someone sent an email saying don't go. And boom, it came up. We did a show just like, I've always dreamed about doing. And then people were like, are you going to do this next year? Are you going to do this next year? And then that's what started the snowball. And then as we started doing races, we started getting bigger. And then, like I said, I'm a yes man. I want to please people. People are like, hey, we want to have a race here. Hey, come check out these trails here. Hey, come go. And so that's what I was doing. I was just scouting trails to the point to where I'm like, dang, this is fun. And that's what a lot of people don't understand when they get in this business is that you got to come in this sport with love first. You can't come in looking at a dollar sign. You got to come in looking at it as we're coming in to have fun. And you can see that at some races. It gets too serious. People are, it's a totally different vibe. But when you come to my races, I want you to feel relaxed. Like, whoo, okay, I'm here to ride, and then I want to have me a beer or something at the end of the at the party. But I'm not condoning beer to everybody. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, we do.
What I have.
On
I
Riding
just
the
want you to
Line, we
relax.
do promote
We
it.
do condone beer after riding. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because that's how we did. We riding to me was going out with your boys, and then when we were done riding, we'd meet back up and basically have a tailgate party, and then we'd go home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't you still have that same vibe at a race?
Yeah.
And so that's something that I wanted to build on. And and growing
I will
up,
say on that note, like definitely from racing your races, it's definitely like I just felt different in the mornings. Like it's like you got the music going, like good vibes, everybody's just hanging out, and then like I just like from racing other races of being super stressed, and like honestly the reason I kind of stopped racing is because it ruined it for me. Like I got so anxious, I kind of just like I didn't have fun on my mountain bike for the day. I was just so nervous about doing well. I was so nervous about not crashing. And so going to like your Go Nuts events, dude, it was just like I was excited to see my friends I haven't seen in a while. Like the music is good, you're hanging out. It's everybody's, so some mornings everybody's just freezing, hanging out, like, and it's a cool vibe. So definitely I would agree with you there that the vibe is different. And on top of that, like for these enduro races, I correct me if I'm wrong, David, but I remember you're just like, yeah, like as long as you finish by this time, like you just take your time, enjoy your day, just like get the stages done at your leisure, and
yep.
and everybody's just hanging out. So definitely a cool vibe for sure.
Thanks, man. I mean, like I said, that's what I've always wanted. And growing up, I played all your recreational sports. I played football and baseball and all the things. And then it didn't hit me till I was an adult and my kids started playing sports. And I started seeing through parents how aggressive they are when they see their child is good at something. And when when they see their child is good at something, they start not spoon feeding them, but shoveling it down their throat to the point to where the kids just aren't having fun anymore. And I saw that in baseball. I'm like, these kids aren't even 12 years old. I can tell you right now, a kid ain't going to know what they really want to do until they're after 12, 13 years old. And you'll start seeing their interests. Yeah, when they're growing up, we're handing them the tools to say, here, do you like this? Do you want to play that? Do you want to do this? And they're experiencing everything. Then once they get to their preteens, they start to develop, this is what I like. This is what I want to do. But some parents these days, they focus on a niche that a child is focused on, and then they shove it down their throat. And then by the time they're 17, 18 years old, they don't even want to do it no more.
Hate
It doesn't
yeah.
matter what it is. And so growing up with my generation, we were on bikes every single day. We had no choice. That was our transportation. That was how we got to our friend's house. That's how we got to school. That's how we went to the store. So, and in between all that, we had fun jumping curbs, doing this, doing that. No offense to the generation today, because I know there's so much given to them that you have to force them to go outside and do something. So whenever that one kid goes out and does something, those parents are like, "Oh, he's doing something, or she's doing something. I gotta give them everything they got."
Yeah.
And the next thing you know it, they're burned out. And then you're starting to see that deadness between, I would say, between 19 to 35. You're seeing a gap now, and then once everybody starts to reestablish their life and get through college, and they're like, then by about mid 30s into their 40s, they're like, okay, I remember I used to ride bikes. I'm gonna give them a bike again.
Yeah.
So my thing is, just have fun, you know, don't pressure yourself so to the point to where it's not fun anymore, and it's just, and I see that. And we've been doing this now. This is our 11th year doing races, and I've seen it. I've seen kids who are phenomenal riders who don't even touch a bike now. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened? You were so good.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and people
I've got a
go ahead.
question for you, kind of on that note, with the way that you schedule the weekend. So when to kind of keep that, I always one of the most fun things for me to do is honestly to get out there on practice day. Um,
Mhm.
for folks that have not done like a Go Nuts weekend, what does that kind of weekend, no matter where the race is, what does that weekend schedule look like? Are you pulling in? Do you have like practice open on Fridays or is Saturday a practice day? Do you have times when you can go scout the courses beforehand? And then obviously on race day you've got the racing, which is sick, and you relax, be able to take your time, come in by this time, and then you got podiums. But take us through that, just that typical Go Nuts Enduro weekend that you guys provide.
From a rider standpoint or as a promoter standpoint?
Yeah,
As
from the rider standpoint, so they can
Okay.
kind of understand. Hey, when do I need to get up? When do I need to arrive at a Go Nuts race? What if
So
I
what
just
we
want to
try
ride
to
it
do,
blind? Right?
yep, yep. So what we try to do, depending where we're at and how many stages we have and how gapped that out they are, we try to usually get there about Thursday night. We'll start taping and everything Thursday, leading into Friday, wrapping up all taping. Saturday, that's when we want everybody to start showing up. Come on, get there early. We got the course taped. We're going to be there to answer any questions. We're going to put up tents and everything. The rider, you just come on and go and pre-ride. Um,
So
and then
Saturday in general is that pre-ride day.
Yeah, Saturday in general for all of our enduros are just all day and free ride. Just go and have fun. If you have any questions, and that's important to us because we want the feedback from the riders, because they'll come back
Hmm.
and be like, "Hey, tape's down," or "Hey, which way am I supposed to turn here? We didn't see exactly where," so we
Yeah.
can address things. So we're there to provide for the riders. I don't. In Casey, you said earlier, about our races are catered to the rider. So everything you see from registration to podium is all rider suggested. Everything that we have in our races is because a rider suggested it, and we've included it in our races. It's not me. I put it out there and I'm like, our races are the racers. The racers that put our races
Yeah.
together. So everything that we do, and that is one of the things for the pre-ride is that we've offered, is give them a full day of pre-ride, whether they're
Yeah.
registered or not. Because we get people that show up that haven't registered, who just want to try it out and see if they can do it. That's exactly what I want you to do. I don't want you to register and come out there and be scared. I want you to come out there, check it out, and then, register or whatever. But
That's really cool.
yeah. So that's important to us, because we get the feedback from the riders. I mean, we've changed courses right on the day of the race just because riders suggested not to put this in or take that out or add this or whatever it may be. And then when it comes race day, yeah, just get there on time and let's party, and as always, you got till 3 o'clock to wrap it up. And then once we get the awards done and get everybody shipped out, my crew's pretty much got the whole place cleaned up and we're following right behind you. So we try to make it as
Nice.
easy and as fun as possible.
What time do you usually kick off in the morning to get everybody kind of rounded up by 3? Just out of
Uh,
curiosity.
so on race day, we normally kick it off. So 8 o'clock is usually we open
Yeah.
registration, and that gives enough time for everybody to get their chips. And you've been to our races. I mean, they're easy. We make it to where you don't have to stand in line. You just come up, grab your packet, and go. Um,
Nice.
and so and what people don't see behind the scenes is my wife and I were up till 1, 2 o'clock a.m. in the morning putting everybody's packets together, and then we're right back up at 5 a.m. to get back to the race course and lay everything out for everybody. So we want to, because in the past we would have people line up to get their chips, and you're talking almost 2 hours wait just to get your chip. So we were like, how can we make this fast? And so we just lay everybody's package out alphabetical order. Come grab it. Let us know you grabbed it. We check you off. You're good to go. So
That's awesome. What I think's cool too is that you guys actually make it attainable by doing a Saturday, Sunday. Because I remember so many enduros, 2 like downhill races that you would go to. You're having to either take a day off on Friday to go walk the course, free ride, what have you. Um, and it's a lot to pack in 2 days, but it seems like all the concessions that you guys at Go Nuts are making really actually make it to where you can leave, Friday after work, get there, get to the hotel or set up camp, what have you, have all Saturday to ride and have fun when you're out there on trail. Cause like I said, I love the pre-ride days. I love the session stuff. It's kind of that BMX mentality, right? Going back to that.
yeah,
Being able to go ride something over and over with your buddies and be like, hey, Kason, you gonna send it, bro? You gonna do it?
yeah.
Um,
Speaking of, I have gotten hurt. I have gotten myself hurt on 2 Go Nuts pre-ride days and wasn't able to race.
Oh,
So why do I have
and now
balloons?
you get balloons for that.
Why do I have balloons on my screen? Oh my
it was
gosh.
awesome.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
Raccoon
think
Mountain, dude. Chattanooga, man. I was like exactly what you said, Ross. I was hyped up, man. Stoked with just riding with the boys. Like, I'm like, let's hit this stage. Let's hit this stage. I'm like, on Raccoon Mountain, I was like, dude, I bet you no one's gonna hit this rock gap. I should try it because that's smart. It'll save me 0.1 second, right? And dude, straight over the bars, endowed, separated my shoulder, couldn't race the next day. I was like, sweet. So, yeah, on that, yes, pre-ride days are great, but I should take it a little more easy and get ready for the race.
learn from Kason Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in
Well,
the
that
same boat, man. We'll get out there when we're taping, and we forget that we're working, and then we get crazy on the trails, and we'll slam or something. I had a guy who used to work with me. I don't know if y'all remember Todd Vanderhoof.
Oh yeah.
He
I
took
know
a
Todd.
freaking. We were wrapping up our day at TTC, and he took that road gap and freaking landed, but he got squirrely and he ran into a tree, broke bike frame, shattered the rim, hurt himself. And I was like, whoa, we got to work. I can't have injured
We
employees.
got a whole weekend.
Oh
And
my god.
it's so, it was crazy, but yeah, we got to watch ourselves too, man. I've taken some slams, man. Just out there taping the trails. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you spend a lot of times out on trails too, so there's a lot of opportunities to do that for sure.
To go
Yeah, and
screw
and
it
and
up.
and the thing is, I forget how old I am, and guys, just word of advice: as you get older, your mind still thinks you're young, but your body reminds you how old you are. And so I'll get out there, and I think I still have a 20-year-old body, and I'll try to send something. If I land it, great. But if I don't, I'm like, my body's like, you're stupid. You're a stupid old man.
That's
Dude,
funny.
I found that out at Jared's place a couple weeks ago. I think I told Kason off camera, dude. We were riding and it was kind of wet dry. It was starting to dry out a little bit, but I I hit Cindy Crawford, and dude, that second kicker on Cindy Crawford, you're kind of curving to the left a little bit. Dude, there was some mud that came up through the carpet, and I washed the front and started a low side, and then my pedal clipped the carpet and it threw me into the takeoff so hard. I mean, because you're doing what, 30 almost going into that thing, probably like 25,
Yeah, probably
27.
20. It
Yeah.
feels like you're going 100
It
though.
feels like you're flying, but dude, it threw my back into that takeoff, and then I wound up landing in the gap, smashed the lander wall, and then the bike
Yeah,
decided to attack me.
definitely not a
And
forgiving trail.
oh my god, dude! And I was like, "Yep, there's 40. That's yeah, that's it." Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah,
But kind of
man. Yeah.
continuing on with the weekend. And I know it's always gonna kind of vary, depending on where you're at. As far as, like, amount of stages that you're doing in your enduros, and then kind of like a range for maybe your vertical and your mileage out there, just so kind of people have an understanding of, "Hey, this is something I know I can tackle," because I know you guys you run a lot of analog bike classes or just acoustic bike classes. God, I said it, anyway. And then I know you guys also run the e-bike class as well. So sometimes that
Mhm.
just makes it more accessible for folks. But yeah, talk about like mileage stages and kind of where you guys kind of fall in that range.
Yeah, so I try to make it so first off, I tell people straight up who are getting into enduro, I'm like, this is not a beginner sport. I think enduro is that test. So even though we have amateurs, amateurs know how to ride. The thing is can you go that extra pedal to that final stage? So we usually drop a stage, and the one stage that we normally drop, yeah, it might be a little bit more advanced for the pros and experts. It may have a mandatory drop in it or something, but we try to make everything rollable. Anything that has a drop or a gap, we try to make it rollable. But no, we try to make all of our
Yeah.
enduros anywhere between 4 to 6 stages. And we try to make them,
Uh,
challenge. We try to break it up to where you get a little piece of everything. You get a flow line, maybe you get a jump line, you get a technical line. Something. You get. I want something that's going to test each level of each skill. Put it that way, because you
yeah.
might have somebody who can jump, but they might not be good through tech. Then you might have somebody who can't jump, who's solid through tech. Then you might have somebody who's like, flow or whatever. So we try to throw all that in there. Um, so depending on mileage and things like that, like if it's somewhere like cold water, we try to make it to where it's like all connected to whenever you're done with the
Yeah.
trail, it's going to lead you to the next trail. Parks like
Yeah.
Jared's and everything, when you can take a shuttle or something, it's kind of like easy because you're dropped off at the same spot and you can just go hit whatever you can. Um, we used to make everybody, well, we still do, depending on which parks you're at and how the parks want to operate. It is easier on us if we keep people going in numerical order, because once we get a count, everybody, our crew can go ahead and start cleaning behind you, and it's not, last minute cleanup at the end. But then also when we have 200 plus riders, we like to split them all up too, so it makes it easier for people to not have to wait as long and doesn't carry the day so far out. So but I've had races to where there was less than 10 miles of total pedal, and then I've had races to where you're up to 30 miles of pedaling.
Yeah.
And those are the true enduros. And my true enduros, I think these days are scaring people, and that's something that I'm trying to get away from. I'm trying to bring back real enduro, and because I'm getting a lot of the old school guys or mid school guys saying, "Hey, we want more pedaling," but the newer generations like, "How many shuttles we getting?" So,
Yeah, I do remember the first race that we ever had at Jared's was a Go Nuts race, and I actually raced that one. Probably the best Go Nuts race I ever did. It
was
was
that the
amazing.
300? The very first, was that our first race there?
Yeah, yep, it would have been the first one. And Air Supply was a stage. I remember that.
Yeah.
Like, trying to go as
Heck
fast
yeah.
as I can, hitting a 50-foot jump. I was like,
Dude,
dude,
I got so much
uh,
heat on that, dude. I had so many people cussing me out. Why don't you put a air supply in? I'm like, why
well, they
not?
should.
Like, dude, I wanted to showcase what they had, and I
I thought
was,
it was sick, but for the people that aren't willing to hit the jumps, I could understand.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
thought I thought it was cool, but I also remember what I was wanting to bring up about that race is the fact that we had to climb to every stage, and I don't think you do that anymore, do you, at Jared's?
well, I mean, it's been suggested. So I work a lot with the parks, and the way things are. A lot of the enduros these days are turning more into fun duros to me. I mean, it's turned into more less pedaling, and it's all multiple downhill runs, really. And I mean, I get riders griping even when they get shuttled and they drop off. They have to pedal from the shuttle to the stage. I'm like, man, what do you want to be helicoptered in now?
Yeah.
So,
And you got to go to the you got to
yeah.
ride to the stages. That's what enduro is.
Yeah, that's what enduro is, and people and they're just not getting it. I'm like, you have to pedal. That's what enduro was. Enduro was, hey, look at that peak up there. Let's go ride it. Let's pedal up there and see what we can do.
I
So
mean, if you call it a downhill race, that's a different story. But if it's an enduro race, you're signing up for an enduro race, and this is just my opinion. This isn't,
yeah,
then you should have to ride to the stages. That's what it's XC that you have to ride the whole time. Enduro that you just get timed on the stages, but you have to
Yep.
get to the stages, and then
yeah,
downhill you only have to ride the stages. So there's 3 different categories, and if you're signing up for enduro, that's what enduro is. So
yeah.
just kind of like to the people that are complaining about it, it's like, well, maybe you don't want to race enduro.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
is literally what it is. Yeah.
And I've been talking to I talk to promoters all over the country and some parts of the world, and I just we learn off each other. We try to we're getting the feel, and a lot of the enduro promoters that I talk to, they're in the same boat that I am. We're definitely seeing some numbers drop, and we're trying to put our heads around it. Like, why is it? You know, we thought it might have been maybe the economy. People are saying races are too expensive these days, and we are ones that are trying to drop those costs. But again, there's so much that people don't understand that's paid out in the end. Then there's what was I saying? Oh, there's so many parks being built now, so people are spoiled. I mean, there's so many grants given to public parks, but there's not enough maintenance to maintain those trails. So
Yeah.
people are focused on going straight to uh, private parks where they can just be shuttled. I don't blame them. If I was a kid, man, Mom, give me $30. I want to go here and get shuttled all day. I mean, it's fun.
Mhm.
So there's less pedaling these days. So whenever you mention, oh, there's going to be a race with pedaling, they're like, what? I've been going here
Yep.
getting shuttled every day. So
Yeah.
you're starting to lose that. And then there's other little things too that, we're trying to put our heads around, but I'm trying to get it to where, hey, it's fun, guys. Get out there. You'll see. But
Yeah.
I don't know. So
It is.
I'm trying to incorporate it all. So if you have a lift park or a shuttle park, I want to put in some pedaling, but also give back the rider that they want. So it's
Yeah,
it's
I
hard,
think that's a good idea. Yeah, for sure.
It's
but
funny, man, because I remember when I was getting into enduro, there was this thing called Super D, and like Super D was kind of like the mix of the two. And but I remember I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this Super D thing because it was like sometimes like 50-50 up down on the stage. And I was like, this is a whole lot of pedal. And then I found enduro, and then the rule in enduro is right 80-20, 80 down, 20% up. And I was like, okay, enduro is way cooler. Like I'll be slow on these climbs, take my time. But like I was like, man, I don't want to sprint that uphill, dude. Um, but
mm-mm.
we every time though, we were still climbing. We were still going up, we were pedaling, we were doing the thing to go race a gravity course that might be 50-50. Um,
Yeah,
and I was like, but dude, we had a blast doing it. It was killer. And now, I mean, if you look at a lot of the enduro now, I mean, you give somebody an 80-20 track, they're gonna be like, what? Like that's a
yeah,
whole lot of pedal. Like that's still enduro.
I do think it's funny. Like that was the experience for me, man. I remember the Oak Mountain race, dude.
Yeah.
Like every time I get done with the stage, I'm like, God bless it. Like I
Yep.
gotta go all the way back up now. And then you like sit at the top of the stage for like 20 minutes to try to get your heart rate down and like
mhm,
try to get calm so you can race. Like that's fun to me. Like that's a
Yeah.
like you're like that is part of racing. Like you're
yeah.
like, okay, I got here. Now you hang out with your buddies for a minute, try to bring your heart rate down, try to
And
get
we have
back in.
hot dogs normally for you.
Do what?
No
I
shit.
said we normally have hot dogs waiting for you at the top.
That's
It's true.
amazing.
Yeah, but it's just like it's part of the fun, man. That's racing, dude. There's more than just going fast. Like you got to mentally prepare for some of that, right? And that's like
Yeah,
exceed
the same thing. Like, you gotta like start out at a good pace, like pace yourself, not blow up like that. There is some some mental toughness that goes into racing bicycles, and for enduro, I do feel like getting to the stages is a big part of that mental toughness. And
Yeah.
for what you were saying, Ross, like I've raced go nuts races where there was what I felt like there was an entire stage of what was like, God bless it. Like, this is not enduro, right? Like, what the like what the hell, dude? And but the rest of the stages were fairly downhill. So I'm like, this is looking back on it, or even after the race, I was like, dude, this is sick, because for the people that are racing enduro that are fit, that they're good, they're perk on the bicycle there is being fit and being fast on the climbing or the flat
Or
stuff.
flat. Yeah.
This is where they can make up time. But for someone like me, the black diamond stages where I'm hitting a 6-foot drop that nobody else is hitting, that's way faster, that's where I'm making up time. So it evens everything out. Like,
Yep.
so
And
I
that's
thought
why
that was
I try
very
to break it
cool.
up like that. Like I mentioned, and that's another thing enduro people don't understand. Enduro ain't all downhill. I mean, a stage might have a punchy climb to get you over and down another hill. So people are like, I can't believe I had a pedal on stage 4. I'm like, dude, it's enduro. You're gonna have to do it. It's not all. If it was all downhill, it would be called a 4-stage downhill race.
All right, I want to take a quick break to shout out Specialized Bicycle Components for backing the show. I've been riding the Levo SL, and it's honestly the perfect balanced bike. It feels like a proper trail bike, light, playful, supernatural power, but it gives you that extra push when you need it. It doesn't feel like you're cheating the trail, it just lets you ride longer. Ross, on the other hand, has been ripping the new Levo 4, and that thing is a different animal. More power, more range, and it absolutely rips up the climbs. If you're trying to stack laps or push training days further, it's unreal. Whether you want a lightweight feel or a full power ripper, Specialized has it dialed. Check them out at specialized.com. All right, back to the podcast.
So I think people miss the point of what enduro is, and like you said, Casey, I mean, I think enduro is the full package of a mountain bike rider. I mean, it's a person who can do XC, who can do the technical, who can do downhill, who has that full package. And can you do it all? And are you truly the king of the mountain? And if you got someone complaining, you ain't the king of the mountain, brother.
No, sir.
You know how many Dude, you know how many times I've been beat at Go Nuts races by the XC guys on 100 millimeters of travel? Because they were willing to also do some gnarly features on their 100 millimeter bike, and I had a 170 millimeter bike that I couldn't keep up on the flat sections. It's just like, bro, you gotta be a full package, and that's why I race enduros, because if you win, you're a freaking badass, dude.
You're a machine.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many people they'll send me messages asking me, "Hey, I've got X amount of travel. Would you suggest me?" I don't like giving suggestions, because
No, that's up to you,
know
buddy.
your bike. I mean, I've had full rigid mountain bikes come at enduros, man. I mean, some people just that's their style. That's what they like. So whatever you're comfortable with, I can't tell you, but I always tell people at least 150 mil. I mean, if you're going to do an enduro, I mean, like I've seen 100, 110s out there. I'm like, what are you doing? But hey,
Dude, I very specifically remember. Sorry, Ross.
You're good.
Racing the cold. I actually won. This first time I won a category at a Go Nuts race. I raced Coldwater, and that was brutal. Like, racing at Coldwater is pretty gnarly because it's bro, it's a lot of pedaling. And I remember on the bomb dog stage, I had gotten passed by somebody on a super caliber. Like, there was a cut, and I accidentally took the wrong cut. There was like a split lane on a stage on bomb dog stage, I believe. And dude, next thing you know, I see a super caliber going around me. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, that's it, dude. Like, I'm toast. But I was like, dude, these guys, I mean, going back to that point, is like, it's all about the full package, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I've always liked enduro. I fell in love with enduro when I did it for the first time. And it was amazing how we fell into it. I don't know if you guys knew the story of how we got into Enduro or not.
Send it.
But yeah, so back in 2019, I don't know if you guys remember Third Coast Productions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Third Coast Productions. Brent Norset used to run that series, and he was like the only enduro series in the Southeast at the time. And he made an announcement on Facebook one day. I mean, his wife got hit by a car, on a road bike, and she had some bleeding on her head where she had to go like every week to get it drained and stuff. So he made a big announcement and said that he would no longer be doing any races, unfortunately, to deal with his wife. Man, I had 3 calls that next day from 3 different people asking me what I thinking about doing enduros, and I don't even know how that rumor is started because I was like, I don't have the equipment, I don't have the know-how. I said I've only done a few, but I don't know, And the only common equipment I had was your RFID type stuff that the middle school, high school timing systems use. So I was trying to think, me and my wife were trying to think, how could we even do a race with the timing system we had? So I called Brent up because somebody suggested, why don't you just buy his timing equipment and just, do it? So I called him up and I was like, hey, man, sorry what happened and everything. I said, but people's been asking me about doing some enduros. And I was just kind of curious about your timing system. And he was like, well, I'm not going to sell it. He goes, but if you need me to time, I'll be more than glad to come help time. And I was like, perfect. I was like, you come time it and I'll just promote it. So we did a race where it was we did Coldwater. Our very first race was at Coldwater. We did it together. We did a third coast production goes nuts, basically. And we were see if we could work together. And it was me also kind of learning how Enduro really went from a promoter standpoint. 2 promoters getting together like that. We basically learned off each other. Again, I'm an overtaper. I don't want my racers getting lost. I want to make sure that when you come to my race that you're paying for a legit tape course that's not going to get you lost. And so I will put damn 10 miles of tape on one trail if I have to, just to make sure you don't get lost or go over a cliff. And that's a lot of my taping is not just about how, to turn here or not, but it's also caution. Like if you go over this berm, you may be falling 20 feet, so I'll put tape there just to let you know not to go over it. But beside the point, so he did a few of our races, through 2020 when we made the announcement we were putting our series together. And then he wanted to branch off and start he wanted to bring Third Coast back, and I was like, cool, man, whatever you want to do. So we kind of broke away, and then I went ahead and bought my own timing system and just went from there. And then I believe he moved or something. I think he went like South America or something. I don't know what happened. But anyway, but that's the build of Go Nuts, of how we kept on going forward with the enduros. And I started just making the enduros more my style, more Go Nuts style, how I wanted to see it done. And man, like I said, I'm a people person. I just like to have fun. I don't like enemies. I don't like confrontation. I like to work with everybody. I'm I just want to get out there and party, really. Like I said, it's just, to me, it's an opportunity to get everybody together and let's have some fun. And that's my whole mentality of racing. It's not, I'm not trying to rip people off. I'm not trying to make a living at this. I mean, we got other businesses. I don't have to do this. I mean, I do it for fun, you know, my wife isn't a cyclist like I am. She knows it's a passion of mine. She knows it's something that I love, and thank goodness I have a wife who's supportive. And she goes and rides, but she's not going to sit any gaps or anything, obviously. But she loves going on the trips and stuff and seeing and meeting everybody. But she's a workaholic. I mean, she's the wizard behind the curtains. If you wanted to ever interview her, that'd be fun. That'd be interesting to see. But she's I'm just a mascot, dude. She's the business runner. I'm just the guy out there acting like a clown.
Oh, you're doing good
Yeah,
at it,
this
man.
is actually,
You're doing
man,
good, brother.
I wanted to bring up, if like as much as you want to talk about it, like the behind the scenes portion, going back to what we were discussing a while ago of Ross talking about the scheduling. But the first question I have is like, what does your weekend look like? Like, how does as a promoter, because I know like a follow-up question is like, is promoting races even profitable? Like, are you breaking even? Like, as much as you want to talk about it, of course, but I would love to know, and I'm sure some folks, because I've heard, as far as like, of course I follow like the moto scene, and I know David, you do a little bit as well. Like, promoting motocross races is not, from what I've heard, is not profitable whatsoever, and actually most of those guys lose money and stop doing it. So talk about your weekends. How much are you preparing for these weekends? Like, what goes into it from your point of view? Tell me the ups and downs of promoting races, like if you're willing to, and then also like as much as you want to, what I was talking about.
Well, first thing I tell people is like if you're going to get into promoting races, you might as well go into it spending money, not making money. You're going to be spending more money than you're going to be making. If you make money, it's a bonus. If you break even, you're doing good. People think, oh, I see how much a race costs. You're banking. No, you're not. They don't know about the insurance. They don't know about the permits. They don't know about the park fees, the medics. They don't. There's the traveling, the salaries. We used to try to get volunteers to help. Volunteers. They're slim pickings. By the time you get volunteers out there, you're telling them what to do more than them working. And then when you have to pay somebody to come out there and do it, then obviously you gotta compensate for that as well. So really, the people that making the most money are the people that work for me. So, but no, in all reality, dude, there's a lot that goes behind it, and like I tell people, you got to come in this. Like I said at the beginning of the interview, you got to love it to do it. Don't put a dollar sign in front of it. You gotta just, it's something you just gotta be passionate for. And that was me. I mean, I'm just always been, my wife and I, we always throw we like to host. We like to put parties on. We like to have, we didn't have a Super Bowl party this year, but anyway, we normally have things like that. Like we're big, we're big Georgia fans. We like to have tailgates and things like that. And we like to entertain. And that's how I am with my mountain biking. Like I said, we have other businesses we run. This is my baby. I'm happy if I make a profit, and I'm happy if I don't. And some people are like, yeah, I didn't make any money this week. Don't look at it that way, bro. You got 2 new people on bikes, dude. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the new generation of people getting on bikes. Let's keep the sport alive. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it fun. If you keep getting it to where it's pressured and it's boring and and you're not happy getting there, then you're not going to keep that vibe. But if you keep it to where it's fun and active, and they're like, dude, I can't wait for the next race, man. It's gonna be sick. That's what I want. And that popularity builds. And but yeah, I mean, like you said, behind the scenes, we're looking for, I mean, especially if we're going out of town, we got to look for a place to stay that's going to hold our staff. We got to have food for our staff. We got to we got to get there. We got to make sure that we have enough prizes and payouts and things like that. We don't have sponsors that give us big checks. We could, they give us an option. Do you want money or do you want prizes? Well, if we take the money, then our riders aren't going to get prizes. So we try to always we want the riders to go home with something, so I put the money aside and grab the prizes so you can have something to take home. And we increase our pro and expert costs so we can put that money back into a payout. So the money is going back into the rider's hands. It's not going in my hands. Just because I up the cost, it's going into, pro payouts. Now, I'm hoping one day that I have a sponsors out there listening, that they can give us some pro payouts so I can, give some big checks out too. But until those big paydays come, right now, I mean, it's all coming out of my pocket. So, like I said, everything we do is rider suggested, and what we do is, I'm giving back, and when I give back, all I ask is come back.
Right.
But
Because obviously the biggest thing for you is going to be like the rider count, right? Your head count is going to be the biggest decider for your races.
That's the only thing we're banking on is if I can get 100, 150 riders, at a race, I'm breaking even. I'm good. I mean, that just paid
Okay.
for my travel expenses. That's paid for everything. If I get over 100, 150 riders, okay, I got a little gas money for the next trip, and I just roll that money over into the next race because I don't know race tape, dude. If I don't get race tape from sponsors, I got to pay for it. And
Yeah.
I tell you, y'all price it. I buy my race tape from Uline, and it ain't cheap. It's like $18 a roll, and we use
God,
about 2 rolls, about a roll and a half per stage, and
Yeah.
we keep up with that. I'm like, how many rolls we have? We keep up with inventory. We keep up with prize inventory. When you come to our races and we put our prizes out, my wife breaks it up by cost. So like, if you're an amateur, you might not get a set of handlebars or $100 a neck or stem or something from one of our sponsors because you might get some grips or something. But if you go expert or pro, yeah, you might go home with a more expensive prize. It's about your level is, I guess, your status of what kind of prize you're going to get.
yeah,
Because
which makes sense. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
if we for everybody, and then we tried to build it up to where at the end of the year we're going to give you something big too. So I mean,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and believe me, as a racer, um, I try to look at things like if I was a racer, what I would want, and I try to give that back to our racers. And if I can't provide it, I try to think of something outside the box, like what can I give? What can I do for the riders? So I mean, right now the struggle, what I'm trying to do is just keep the sport alive. That's the one thing.
yeah, yeah.
And when I
I
say the
mean,
sport, it ain't just enduro. I'm talking about mountain biking in general. I just want you on a bike.
yeah, I mean, Ross and I have talked about it a bunch, man. The industry is it has been in a tough position ever since COVID. I feel like, I mean, we talk about it till our feet go numb, but eh,
I'm
yeah, I
back.
mean, it's definitely there you go, Ross. We're looking good.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's definitely tough, and racing is also a big portion of that. We've talked about it on our last podcast with Ben Hobbs, the racing scene and being able to become a successful racer is few and far between now. So it's amazing to have um organizations and race promoters like yourself that now we kind of have this transition, right? Where I actually see this transition, which is really cool. I see it in real time and I see it in person of people going from high school, middle school in the Georgia Cycling League or NICA or whatever it may be, Alabama Cycling, whatever it may be. And they have this transition now that they really didn't used to have of going from there and saying, a lot of those guys racing XC and Georgia Cycling and NICA figure out that they actually, guys and girls, excuse me, they actually figure out that they like to race enduro or they want to try something harder. And a lot of those people go nuts races, especially the Georgia Cycling group. I see so many people that when they're not racing Georgia Cycling, they are also racing go nuts, and then they end up just going complete enduro. And so now you have this like transitional period. And I don't want to, exclude anybody. There has been some amazing race promoters. Third Coast
Okay.
Production
Yeah.
being one of them. It's not only Go Nuts, but Go Nuts does a great job at it. But Third Coast was one of them, and there's a bunch more that have that a great race series that provides a transitional series. So I don't know where I was going with that, other than that. Yeah, the racing scene is a little bit tough. I mean, you could probably speak on it more than we could. But from the outside looking in, it's definitely not what it used to be, and it's a lot harder to become a successful racer and actually make a job out of it. And you see like people like Jack Brown, we talked about with Ben Hobbs, that had a factory Yeti ride, and is I don't know where he's exactly at now, but it sounds like things didn't go exactly the way he wanted to. Same with we talked about Cameron Mater, these kids that are close to my age that very very fast, and as Ben said, 10 years ago they probably would have been a pro factory rider, and that's just not the case anymore.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to bring back is I'm trying to bring back I want those that love the sport to make something of it, but I want them to have fun doing it as they're making the climb toward that. I'm talking to major industries on what we can do to change it. They're listening. They're wanting to know because they're wanting to sell their product, you know. So there is talk behind the scenes that people don't know that's going on. But yeah, I mean, the racing definitely needs. I think bigger sponsors definitely need to throw more money toward it if they really want to make it grow and show that there are some potential of being a paid athlete, you know, because right now, like you said, I mean, there's not a whole lot of money, you know, in racing these days. Motocross or anything these days is crazy, especially mountain biking. I mean, we see it. And so, and the first thing, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to eliminate all the BS costs that go into it all. You know, there's reasons. You've seen some changes with us in the last couple of years of what we're trying to remodel, what we're trying to do, and make it fun and affordable again. And hopefully that will increase it to where more and more people come and more money is back into the sport. So we got to start somewhere. And the only thing I can think about is going back and rebuilding that snowman. You know, and
Kicking it old school.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm trying, like I said, you know, I'd be lying to you if I told you that, you know, I don't stress about a race coming up. I stress all the time. I'm nervous as hell. I'll see, you know, entries and be like, oh, this is all we got. We're going up there for how many people? You know, I'm like, what? You know, but I'm going to deliver. I mean, I've always had it mentally set that I don't care if I have 2 riders or 2,000 riders. I'm still going to put a show on as if there was, you know, I was putting a race in front of a grandstand or something, you know. So, and I have. I mean, we went to Massanutten in our first year. I had 6, count it, 2 hands, 6 riders at my XC race, and
Wow.
I gave them a show like they were at the UCI Nationals. Man, I mean, I made them feel like they were all number one.
That's
And
awesome, dude.
yeah, dude, and it was embarrassing because here I am, first time debuting at Massanutten, and I've got 6 riders. But
Was that
luckily the Enduro was fine.
was that like a go back to the drawing board situation for you, or like what did you take out of that? I mean, I know you
So
say
there's a
you
lot of
do it
things,
for
man.
sport.
People are going to hate me for saying some of this stuff, man. And you know, I
Do it.
think, man, I love that the middle school, high schools have a league, but it's also they're making it seasonal. They make it seasonal. I mean, I was a NICA coach. I worked with NICA. They asked me to be their lead director one year, and I turned it down because Go Nuts was starting to make a fall series. But I could see where it was going early. I could see that kids were starting to say, "Oh, I only need to ride my bike once a year," and that's exactly what it's become. I talk to the coaches and parents around here, and I'm like, "Hey, how's little Johnny doing on his bike?" "Oh, he hadn't touched it since the last race back in November at the last NICA or whatever middle school race it was." I'm like, "What?" You know? And then you have that small percentage, that 1% of the 1% that keep riding throughout the year, and that's the ones that you see at other races. And
Yeah.
then that you have that 1% that is like, "Oh, I'm too good for these races. I got to go national. You know, I got to go here. I got to go there." You know, and it's like, no, you need to get all this other stuff in. The grassroots are losing their spots, and
Yeah.
it's going. Okay, middle school is all I got to race, and then they try to shoot straight to the top. USAC don't even do qualifiers anymore. It used to be when I was USAC sanctioned for 10 years or 9 years before I dropped them. They in the beginning were huge supporters. They would give you race tape. They would give you banners. They would give you official support. They would give you all kinds. They would give you medals to give out to the riders. Each
Yeah.
year, they slowly kept taking something away, taking something away to the point to where you're paying them to run your races. And you're like, I'm not getting anything. I'm giving all my money to this organization who does nothing. And
Yeah.
then they start to see the juniors all racing, and then they go, "Oh, we'll just give the juniors free licenses so they can come to nationals without any qualifications." And then it kills the grassroots. So you know what? It could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So,
you're not the only person to say stuff like that. So I think it's the USAC stuff is pretty obvious. I feel like
well,
in the
it used to be with us.
yeah,
It was important to get 5 USAC sanctioned races under your belt. That would
right.
help the points increase, and then it would help you get. But now you can just go straight to nationals without any races under your belt and get in.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
it's about numbers. It's not about quality
Yeah.
anymore. It's about quantity, and
Yeah.
that's all they care about. And
Which really sucks because it's supposed to like nationals is supposed to be like this something that if you make it to nationals, like you
Yeah.
are legit, right? That's
Yeah.
prestigious. You as an athlete, you as a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old, if you make it to nationals, man, good job. Like you worked
Yeah.
your tail off to get there.
Yeah.
And it sucks that you don't like it's almost that carrot that they're working towards these kids that are in that that those stages in their career. They don't have that carrot anymore, and we talk about it all the time, man. It really sucks too. It's great, like yeah, you're opening up opportunities, right? But we don't need participation trophies, man. Like,
No.
please
No.
don't bring that in our sport, please, God.
Yeah.
You
Oh, I
know,
know.
and
And
that's
then
what's happening.
you see, I mean, back in the day when you went to nationals, it meant something. When you saw
Right.
somebody post something that they went, you're like, "What? You went to nationals? That's sick!" Now
Yeah.
people go to
Exactly.
nationals is like, "Oh, cool, you went to nationals? Oh, I
Yeah.
could have went too. I just didn't. I couldn't afford to go this time."
Oh,
Right.
it is. Yeah, seriously, man.
I mean,
No,
I'm
when
serious. The hype isn't there anymore, and I've tried. I've talked. I mean, I'm in cahoots with some of the folks at UCI. I've tried to figure out ways to go around to try to get my riders straight to UCI. And they said unfortunately they have to go with each country with a sanctioned organization. And for the U.S., USAC is that sanctioned organization that they have qualified for UCI.
Mm-hmm.
And so
dude,
when I dropped USAC, so here's another story. I was I was the first promoter to use USAC as as insurance for Enduro. So
Okay.
what happened is I had all my riders buying all these USAC licenses because I was told that they were going to be ranked. Well, after
mhm.
my first year dealing with USAC with Enduro, people were hitting me up saying, "Hey man, I'm looking at my results. I'm getting zeros." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because I go to USAC and I don't have a score. So I went to USAC and I was looking at all my riders and nobody has scores. So I reached back to USAC and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on with these scores?" And they're like, "Oh, well, you're the first one to ever do Enduro, and we don't have a formula to score anyone, and we're working on that." I'm like, "What?" I said, "Can't you use the same formula you're using for downhill?" And they were like, "Yeah, but there's more stages and there's going to be more to it." I was like, "All right." So I
No.
was telling all my riders, I'm like, "Look, they're working on it." So then the next year comes around. This is 2021, nothing. 2022, nothing. 2023. I'm like, "All right, guys, you got to start putting points on here because you're taking people's money for nothing. They're not,
Yeah.
they're paying a license, but they're not getting ranked, you know? So what are you doing?" And now they don't
Yeah.
even that's why I have a feeling that you're seeing a decrease in Enduro because the people are seeing that you can't get ranked. So
Mhm.
Do anything.
I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take an extra $15+ from my riders to give to organizations and not doing their job. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I do
that's the
remember.
hard truth
Uh,
if you want to know the truth, but that's it. That's all in a nutshell.
Dude,
yeah.
I keep a USAC license like basically for the couple cross races that I do every year, just because it's cheaper to have
It's,
the license than
see, if they would do
pay for
that,
everyone.
if they would treat mountain biking like they would their road and maybe some of their cross races, like if they would
Oh,
do that, and they're getting better with the XC, but still, you can be an XC rider and just go straight to nationals without any qualifications. So, it's
what's the
not.
point?
We used to go when we first started. It was a big deal. We would follow our riders who supported us. In return, we would go to nationals to support our riders. So I was a huge fan. I was like pushing my riders, so we could all. And the first 2 years, we were doing team contests to where if your team won the series, that we would provide an Airbnb for your entire team to go to nationals. And but yeah, there was 2 years in a row that we got housing for 22 people plus to go and stay for nationals, and we would go up there and hang out and party, and it was great times.
That's pretty
Don't
sick.
have that vibe anymore. That vibe isn't like that anymore. It's weird. It's all,
No.
but I want to bring that back. I want to be the new Enduro World Series. You know, Enduro World Series sold to UCI, and the UCI put Enduro on the back burner. So let's see where we can take it now.
Yeah. Well, I've got a question on a bit of a similar topic, but different topic.
Okay.
I was hoping to get we're talking kind of rewind to last year a little bit. You put on a race up in I think it was XC race up in Walhalla.
Yeah.
And that happened to coincide with the Tallulah Gorge whitewater kayak race.
Yeah.
So, first question, did you get to go and see any of that whitewater bit?
I did not. I was trying to link up with the guy. I forget the guy's name who was running that. He actually reached out to me like about a month prior to our race, and we were trying to make it to where we could kind of like connect and have it to where some of the kayakers would come race and vice versa.
Yeah,
And try to make that a full weekend of kayaking and mountain biking. Um, but
that's exactly where I was headed.
yeah, yeah.
I was gonna be like, now, is this a thing? Like, maybe looking forward through this year, is that something you think you can do? Is where you can connect up a race to the Tallulah releases and the Tallulah race?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I would love to. I love to circle back with that guy. We drove out to where I guess they had. Were you out there at the party? Did you go,
I was not.
Ross?
I wasn't able to make it,
I remember
unfortunately.
you reached out to me about
Yeah.
coming and but yeah, my wife and I we drove out there, but um we felt like we were trespassing in a way, so we turned around. So anyway, um, so I forget the guy's name. I got to look him up. But yeah, I would love to team up with something like that. I think that's something that we've been getting hired to do a lot. Some of the one-offs that you guys may see on our schedule that you're going to see popping up this year are
Yeah.
cities that want us to come and like put on events during their fall festivals and things. And so we've been having fun with those because it gets our name out there and shows what we do, and it kind of like advertises mountain biking to those who are unfamiliar with it. And so we've been really enjoying these fall festival type things. And I've been trying to get one here started in Columbus. I don't know if you saw last year where I did the urban crit downtown. We
Okay.
put both Phoenix City, Alabama, and Georgia side, Columbus, and we used the Riverwalk. I was the first one to ever use both cities and brought them both together right there on the river. Um, and then we have our trails up here at Standing Boy, which you guys need to come down and check out. Those
Let's say,
trails are
yeah,
pretty
Standing
cool.
Boys right there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna have another race at Standing Boy September 27th this year, and we are working on another crit style outdoor festival with Columbus sometime this year. But yeah, that was the thing I told them. I pitched to the city. I said, look, I just want to be part of the mountain bike. I said Columbus needs everything from I don't care from chainsaw competitions to kayaking to
Hmm.
four-wheel driving, anything that's outdoor activity. Let's bring it all in one place.
Columbus.
Let me
Yeah.
put like a little race on. Let the kayak guys go down here because we have a sick whitewater um, section here in Columbus. I don't know if you've been
Yeah.
down here.
Whitewater Express
Whitewater.
is incredible, dude.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
That's such a
we're
good
the only
section of
rapids
whitewater.
you can pull up and have a beer. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, if we could have a huge festival that involved all that down here, I think it'd be sick, dude. And I don't know, man. They're just not catching on the hook.
Yeah.
But hopefully they'll change.
Yeah. Well, very
But
good.
but yeah, man. But yeah, overall, I mean, we've got some cool races coming up. We're bringing a race to Montesano this year. That's going to it's going to be a little different. It's going to be fun. So I've been been talking to a lot of riders, and I get people asking all the time, "Hey, are you going to do another XC series? Hey, are you going to do a downhill series? Hey, you know, when are you going to bring an enduro series here or a race here?" So this year we're going to try something a little fun. It's going to be a all three XC, enduro, and downhill in one race. So what you'll do is you can do it solo or you can do it in teams. You can do solo, you do a 10-mile XC lap, you still wearing your chip, that is a stage, your XC lap. Then you go and you do 3 enduro stages, each one. Then you go over and you final your race on a downhill. You can do it solo and be the king of the mountain of all 3, or you can do teams. You can have an XC rider, an enduro rider, and a downhill rider. Once you're done with the XC, you hand your chip over to your enduro dude. Your enduro dude, he can do enduro and downhill, or he can switch it over to your downhill rider, and your downhill rider go and send it. So that way, everybody's at one stop. We're all throwing down. You can do a team thing, or you can do it solo. It's going
Dude,
to be
that's sick.
sick. So that's going to be a party, and that's already on the date on the schedule for October 17th and 18th at Montesano.
Man, Ross, I think you and I need to be a team here, brother.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be sick.
You're
dude.
doing the
I want
XC,
to do
bro.
it. I was getting all excited about it, and I was like, we got to do this race. We got to do this. And I was trying to think of parks that we could do it at,
God.
and so
Will there be an e-bike class?
yes, always
Cool.
e-bike class. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My
I
e-bikers would be
I
the
think
first
we
ones to
both
go.
got to do the whole thing, dude. I mean, but
I
it's
know. I
so
think we need a
funny.
solo. Yeah.
It's so funny because we were just been bitching about people that don't want to pedal, and now he goes and does this. Like,
Yeah, yeah. But see, it'd be fun because you have the people who like to pedal and the ones that don't.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, the
Yeah.
downhill riders. I mean, they're going to be sitting there waiting to go to hit their run, and you know, I guess the ones that have to pedal the most are your enduro and XC riders for sure.
Yeah.
But the good thing is like you're not timed to get finished with the entire race at a certain point. So if you're
Right.
doing it solo, you can do your lap,
You can
rest
take
for a
your time.
second, take your time, go do your enduro, and then wrap it up and then it's going to all be in one day on a Saturday. So then when you're done, we're going to throw down and get down that Saturday night. And then you can go home Sunday morning or Sunday or Saturday night when you're done. So
So can one racer use 3 bikes?
yeah, I don't care what you do.
Nice. So ride my downhill bike on the XC, enduro bike for enduro, and ride
Okay. I
my
see where you're
XC
going.
bike
I
on the
see where you're going.
downhill. All right, got it.
You can't throw an e-bike in the mix for that. Yeah. But you
Yeah.
could do like you have an XC bike, an enduro
Yeah.
bike, and a downhill bike. But yeah, don't throw an e-bike in there. But
You can't. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you gotta. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But and then we're working on some night stuff too. So that's another thing I've been talking to promoters around.
I like nice.
That's
So in
sick.
other countries, night enduros are becoming a thing. So so with us going to Ecuador, it's going to be a 3-day enduro. A lot of people don't know about it. So Ecuador's enduro is going to be a 3-day enduro. It's going to be at 2 different parks. One park's going to be at Pampa Bike Park, where you'll it'll be our opener on that Thursday. They'll do 4 stages, and then on Friday they'll go over the pros and experts will go over to another park called Pincha, and dude, that park is sick. It's the steepest park I ever been at. Dude, they
Really.
took me down their blues and they're like double blacks here. I was like, what are you trying to kill me? You know, I don't know if you've been watching videos of some of that stuff, but videos gives it no justice. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I could talk for days about that place. But anyway, and then on Saturday it'll be that morning it'll be the XC race, and then after the XC race it'll go into the evening, and then we'll have a night race, and they're going to light up the four stages at night with lights, and you'll need a headlamp, so that's going to be sick.
Oh,
And
that's
then they're going
good.
to wrap up with DJs and bands, and then on Sunday it'll be a downhill race.
Nice.
So that's all in Ecuador in May, and then but yeah. So we do have some downhill stuff going on. So we got a downhill race in Ecuador, got a downhill race in Peru. Probably going to have a downhill race at Jared's place, and then we got the downhill race at Montesano. for that one off. So I'm trying to test the downhill stuff a little bit because people's been asking us to throw some downhill races in there. And we tried some downhill races a couple years ago, and they were okay. That's when me and Nico got connected. Nico came to one of my races, and Nico's such a cool dude, and me and him got to talking. And I don't know if y'all remember 2 years ago where we teamed up and we did 4 races where we were at the same venues together. Did y'all know about that?
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
do remember that.
Yeah. So what me and Nico were trying to do is we both saw that, we were trying to get it to where, again, a festive all biker thing together. And he goes, well, let us do the downhill and then you do enduro and XC. So we'll bring it all together and we'll do it on different days or whatever. And I was like, cool, let's try it. Well, what we found out is that you do have hardcore downhillers and you have hardcore enduros. We found throughout the entire series, there may have been a total of 5 to 7 people who did both out of hundreds. And we were like, wow, we didn't realize that it was such a division between downhill and enduro.
Yeah.
So, he asked if we wanted to do it again last year. And I turned it down, just because of the traveling purposes. We were just my wife and I just didn't want to have to travel as far anymore. And we were trying to cater to more of our following and keep everything more rooted, down here in the Southeast. And that's what we're trying to do again this year with the two. We knew we were going to do less enduros this year because I know we used to do like 12 throughout the year or something like that. And so we were trying to and that was something that we heard a lot from the riders, is like, man, you have so many races. And we were like, okay. And so we started chiseling it down. And then we tried to do a spring and a fall. And then we were like, well, that didn't work. And so now we're like, well, why don't we'll just have just a smaller enduro series. So here we are.
Gotta love the people that there's not enough races. There's too many
Too many.
races, dude.
How you
Dude,
gonna
I
even
hear it all.
complain that
I
there's
hear it
too
all.
many races? Like, just don't go.
How do you? Yeah. How is that even a complaint?
How you gonna complain about that?
Yeah, I mean, and that was a thing. I mean, like with when we were talking about USAC earlier, we were doing 28 to 30 races a year at one
That's
point.
insane. That's
And
insane.
I was paying USAC anywhere between $40,000 to $55,000 a year. I was like,
Good night. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. Holy.
yeah, that's what people don't see. They don't
No.
see that.
Yeah, no.
But
Into it. Well, I want to. Go ahead, David. Sorry.
I don't know. Go ahead, Ben. I'm open.
No, I want to shift gears because you talked about golf, and there's something stewing with Ben Hobbs. Are you what's going on there? What's going on with the Ben Hobbs and golf?
Oh, nothing, man. I heard y'all's podcast the other day, and y'all asked Ben Hobbs' handicap, and he said +1, and I was like, I gotta witness this +1. I gotta. And I text Ben immediately after I watched it, and I was like, "Hey, man," and he's usually quick to answer me back, but he ghosted me. So Ben, if you're out there, buddy, let's go hit the link, man. I'm calling you out. So I'm sure Ben is a great player. I actually come from a golfing family, and my uncle actually used to be a local pro up in Athens, Georgia, back when I was growing up. So I grew up on the driving range. And I was never allowed to play the game until I learned how to hit the ball, put it that way.
Oh, I mean, that's a good
So,
order of operations right there.
Yeah. My whole life, my uncle gave me a 7-iron, and he would take me to the driving range, and I was like, "When are you gonna let me use that club?" And he goes, You can't even hit the easiest club in the bag. What makes you think you're gonna hit another one?"
Yeah.
So I didn't get serious in the golf probably until my late teens and started focusing on it, and it becomes a passion. I've always been an individual player of some sort. I mean, like BMX, I used to do flatland. Like I would be out there for 10 hours a day just trying to do flatland tricks all day, and then golf. I mean, I'll spend hours chipping and hitting and whatever, putting, blah. And see, I'm not a +1. I'm not a +1 handicap. I'll tell you right now, I'm probably about and I've played my whole life, and I'm 52 years old now, dude, and I'm probably about a 11 or a 12 handicap. But
Yeah.
So
No,
I
that's
score on a good day. I'll score probably in the high 70s, low 80s. On a bad day, I'm probably about low to mid 90s.
yeah. I see
It's
all
always.
your social media stuff, man. You seem to enjoy it though, for sure.
Oh gosh, thanks. Oh,
There he is.
sorry, dude.
Hey.
I panicked, man. Somebody tried to call in, and then all of a sudden, it just like when I declined it started over.
No,
Um,
it's all good, man.
the
Been
last
there,
thing
done that.
the last thing I said was my handicap, and then it went mute.
No, it's all good, brother. Glad we got you back on. But I think this is a good point where we can wrap up. But
Yeah.
I really quickly, is there anything else that you wanna shout out with Go Nuts, and make sure we shout out your social media accounts, and
Yeah.
also where people can get registered and whatnot. And just do it all, man. Your sponsors, whatever you want to do.
Man, I appreciate it, guys. Hey, again, thanks for having me on your show. I mean, I love what you guys are doing. I mean, your podcast is going to blow up, guys. I really love what you're doing with both motocross and mountain biking. And huge supporter here, guys. Big fan. But yeah, for anybody that's interested in Go Nuts, I mean, check us out. Everything's Go Nuts Biking, gonutsbiking.com. Our email address is gonutsbiking@gmail.com. You can go to our Instagram, Go Nuts Biking, Facebook, Go Nuts Biking. If you want to see some goofy golf and extra riding, you can go over to Squirrelly Dave's page and act stupid. But I want to thank all of our continuing sponsors. Specialized Bicycles is back with us for 2026. We actually signed with the Americas Specialized. So we're excited about that. We've got Terrapin Beer with us. They're going to be trying to take beer down to South America. I want to thank Epic Productions and Destinations for actually helping us get on here. Actually, you know what? They got some sweet gloves here. So anyway, so check out Epic Productions and Destinations. Not only are they part of Go Nuts going into this, but they also put on some awesome adventure trips to other countries and seeing other cultures. So check out those guys. Also, ESI Grips, huge sponsor we've had for years from day one. Also, Thompson Bike Components out of Macon, Georgia. They're still with us. Tifosi Sunglasses, you know it. Keeping your eyes on them trails and keeping the dirt out of your eyes. And who else? Oh, and Monster energy drink. That's right. They always keep us hyped up in energy because you know me, I act like a squirrel nonstop. So I got to have my Monster in me. So anyway, any other sponsors out there? We are talking to some other major sponsors like automotive industries and things like that. So be on the lookout for some of those sponsors popping up in the near future. But if you need to register, bikereg.com. That's where we're at. First race is April 16th and 17th at Canuga. That'll be our opener for our international series. So really stoked about it, and look out for some of the one-offs that are coming this year. Got some fun stuff.
Yeah, man, this podcast has got me stoked to race again. I haven't raced in years, so maybe you'll
Hey, I got
see
you
me
guys.
do
I
it.
got you guys. You just come up and get a chip. I got you.
Dude, we'll be there.
Oh, yeah. Go,
Hey,
dude.
just to have me on your show, I got you guys. You come on.
Let's go, dude.
Yeah, I
Let's
got you.
Get back
do it.
to it, man. We're about to kill the e-bike class with the new Specialized e-bikes, man. Just like
That's right.
quick shout out, man. I know they're a sponsor of yours, Squirrelly. So stoked to have Specialized supporting the podcast, man. Our first big sponsor. And yeah, we're gonna make some more announcements about that. But yeah, I know everybody's gonna hear the sponsor reads, and it's a big deal. It's cool that people see the future in the podcast and whatnot. And that new Levo 4 is badass.
Yeah.
Best e-bike on the market, bro.
You got that bad boy
I've
right
been
there?
on it for a minute and I've been digging it. Yep.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Good, yeah. They're good, man. They're real good. And the SL is pretty good too. So I like mine. Yeah, man. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you for your time, and it's such a killer podcast. And I appreciate all the kind words and love.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
y'all come set up a podcast tent at one of the Go Nuts races, man. Do some live stuff. That'd be sick.
Dude, that would be sick. Just
Yeah, we could do some Q&A for the racers and stuff like that.
Dude, that'd be
Just
so
yeah,
rad,
some-
man. Dude, you're in. Come on, let's do it.
yeah.
Dude, this is where we can do hot sauce challenge, Kason.
Yeah,
This
man.
is-
Right,
I've
dude.
been wanting
Before
to do
each-
hot sauce challenge.
Before the
Roulette.
stage, you got to do
Oh,
the
you
hot.
want to do a hot?
That's
Oh,
right.
you like hot sauce, bro?
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, the hotter the better for me, man. Bring the burn.
Okay.
Oh,
Bring the burn.
I just got some stuff. My friends just went to Hawaii. I've got some stuff
It's not the hottest I've ever had, but man, it comes on quick. Oh, it comes on
Dude,
real quick.
I went to the hospital by passing out from hot sauce one time. Gatlinburg. Yeah. Quick story.
No.
We went to the hot sauce palace and we were in
Pepper
there.
Palace?
Yeah, the pepper palace or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, what is the hottest sauce you got in there?" And they kept it
The
behind me.
end.
And it was called the hottest sauce in the universe or something. They had it like in a siren thing, and I had to sign a waiver. And dude, I took a
Yeah.
chip, put it in my mouth, and there was 2 guys that did it with me, and they were freaking out. You would have thought their face was melting, right? It was
Yeah.
hot. I was sitting there trying to be Mr. Tough Guy and everything, right? About an
Uh-huh.
hour passed. We went to the restaurant. The only thing I had on my stomach was coffee and that damn hot sauce. We were sitting there. I took a drink of some water. I felt like something like was clawing its way out of my stomach, and then I
Oh.
passed out. My family thought I died. I woke up on a
Uh-huh.
gurney downtown Gatlinburg, being gurneyed into an
That's
ambulance. I
good.
get to the hospital. They said that the sauce had burned the lining of my stomach, and that the pain was so severe that it blacked me out. So my wife was like, "No more hot sauce for you, little man." I was like, "No, bring it." So
Oh man, you know what's funny is I've done the exact same thing at a Pepper Palace in Florida. Had to sign the waiver, did it all, and I think I bought because they have a cooler full of drinks. I think I ended up buying like probably 10 Gatorades. I was like, I could not get enough hydration in me. I felt I was on the floor of the Pepper Palace, dude. I'm dying. So
they need to have milk in there. They need to have some backup milk for those that
yeah,
can't take it.
they did have milk. I was buying milk too. I was doing it.
But yeah, we used to have wing parties and dare people to bring the hottest sauce and just watch each other just like fry. I love it.
My cousin up in Marietta, or some of my family has got they got farmland up in Marietta, and I think last couple years they've been growing. I think it was they've got ghost peppers and they got some reapers that they've been growing up there. So I might have to whip up a batch of some special go nut sauce, and we'll see
Hey,
what's good,
I
man.
like the sound of that. Oh,
Yeah, baby.
Hey, make some up. We'll give some out for prizes.
That's right. Yeah, we'll play hot sauce roulette.
Hey, I'm down, dude. Yeah, my wife got me. She got me the hot ones. You ever watch that?
Oh yeah, I have that too. Yeah.
She got me a case of that for my birthday a couple years ago, man. And
It's actually pretty good. It's hot, but it's good. It tastes good.
Yeah, I'm all about the taste. Have y'all ever tried? Y'all have a Dave's hot chicken restaurant up there?
We do, but I've never had it.
Dude,
Yeah.
hands down, I think they probably have the hottest salt or whatever they put on their chicken I've ever tasted. I mean,
dude, some of those dry rubs at the hot chicken places are freaking brutal.
Dude, I'm surprised they even have that. I was like, holy crap. I mean, I was like, oh, I got to sign a waiver for this. And then I was like, oh, okay, see, I burned my bathroom down when I was done. It was,
Shut off into outer space.
So guys, I need one, before we get off, I need a suggestion. Should I shave my head or what? I mean, now that I've messed it up, what do I do?
I think you got to show everybody first. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yeah, look at that. So what happened is my hair was growing too much over my ears, and I was just trying to fix it up a little bit, and I put the wrong guard on, and I went too high, and so I tried to fix it, and now I look goofy.
No, I don't think shave it, dude. I think your hair grows back, man.
It does. It's hair. It's just hair. I was thinking about
I think even it out. You got to get that GI Joe look going.
Yeah,
on
get like a good
nice
taper going. Keep the hat on. Keep the hat on for a while, maybe.
I got that mullet thing going on. I got that.
I'll tell you, get that Morgan Wallen going, bro.
Yeah, dude.
But no, man. I had a great time with you guys, dude. This was fun. So I'm gonna try to get up there and ride with you guys too soon, man. I mean,
yeah, we need to do a Jared's Day. We'll do a ride in the lawn Jared's Day.
I was really hoping to come this past weekend. I actually had a free weekend, and of course, I was sick as a dog. Something's going around. I was like, and it's 70-something degrees here, and I'm just like, really? Anyway.
Yeah, brother. Well, we'll get together soon, and thank you again for coming on, and keep riding that line, guys.
Yeah, man.
Sir. Peace.
Before we wrap this up, huge thank you to the brands that make Riding the Line possible. Big thanks to Specialized Bicycle Components. From trail bikes and EMTBs like the Levo platform to road, gravel, helmets, shoes, and some of the best tires in the game, they're not just building bikes. They're building the full ride experience. Whether you're racing, training, or just chasing better days on the trail, Specialized has it dialed from top to bottom. Check them out at specialized.com. Shout out to CTS Media. Websites, photography, videography, and marketing strategies for brands that actually want to grow. If you're serious about leveling up your business, head to ctsmedia.org. Appreciate Shred It You're On. Innovative jersey solutions that let you run a GoPro or action cam straight through the jersey while keeping your sponsors visible. Built for riders who create. Check them out at shredityourOn.com. And big thanks to Gutter Getters, keeping homes dialed so you can stay focused on riding. We appreciate all of you supporting the sponsors and who support the show. We'll see you on the next one.